Hi, I'm Josh and welcome to SantaMonicaAirport.com. I'm really excited in this video to interview a woman in aviation that is setting the stage for other women that are young, that work in other industries, that want to get their pilot's license. I'm really excited on this video to have Krystin Goodwin. Kristen, welcome to the video.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, without getting too deep into it, let me ask you a couple questions first. First of all, tell us what you do and where you're from.
I am an on-camera journalist, and I am originally from Washington, D.C., so I was born and raised in Fairfax, Virginia.
Very exciting. Kristen, what inspired you to start flying?
Well, I grew up right next to Washington Dulles Airport, so ever since I was a little kid, planes were flying over my house. For a while, I lived next to an Air Force base, so
Wow.
I got very used to, I loved it though. It was so great. I heard F-22s flying over my apartment all the time, and I would go to the air shows, and I got hooked. I had a lot of friends in the military, being out, from the Washington D.C. area, a lot of friends, family that worked in military and aviation, and I've always wanted to fly. Even now, I'm amazed to see planes fly. So it's pretty cool to actually be fulfilling that goal.
So you're an on-camera personality. That's very exciting. How do you find the time to fly?
It's tough. It's really tough, especially now. I'm currently in New York, working on a job, and I started flying in California, and weather isn't really involved in California. It's beautiful all the time. So even being in New York and the hustle and bustle here, weather is definitely a factor, especially in the winter time. So that's difficult in itself. But I made time. Like on the weekend, I would always make sure I would go every Sunday, or I would go every Saturday, just to pick a time where I would go and I would study, and then I would actually go up in the air and fly for a couple of hours. And it's draining because you're doing it as much as you can and kind of trying to expand the time that you go. But it's, if you love something, then you'll make the time. And it may be stressful in other aspects of your life, but it's great, and I really enjoy it.
That's great. Speaking of weather that you brought up, I heard your first flight was out of Santa Monica Airport. Can you describe that?
Yeah, it was. And it was funny, I was thinking about it. I thought that I originally went up in a Piper, in a low-wing plane, and then I actually checked out my logbook, and it was actually a Cessna. I went up in a 172, which I got used to flying. I've been in a Cessna 172 for a while, and I can hear the plane sound.
Yeah, we're here at the airport. You can hear a plane in our background. How exciting.
I don't hear that much in New York. You don't really hear that flying over the buildings here.
You hear honking of taxis.
Exactly. It's a whole other. But yeah, it was fun. I loved flying out of Santa Monica, and aviation in LA is great. I mean, there's so many airports in that area, and just getting to be able to fly out of Santa Monica Airport was a blast. I flew several times there, and I intend to go back. I loved flying out of Santa Monica Airport. So yeah, first flight, and it was a high. It really was. I can't describe it other than just, it's really gratifying to do something that you've always wanted to do and then get out there and do it. It's like a combination of fear and just success. Like you've accomplished something, and it's a big deal. Like if your first flight, if you've never flown before, that's a huge deal.
Well, let's tell us what's your favorite part of being in the pilot seat.
You know what? I had a flight instructor, my old flight instructor, told me that, and he put it best, and I agree with this 110%. When you're in the pilot seat, for those of us that are very ADD or have a lot going on in our lives, you may be thinking of so much. Like there's something on your mind all the time, whether you're at work or you're, running around. But when you're flying, there's nothing you're thinking about other than flying. Mm-hmm. You're just enjoying it, and it's kind of surreal for me. It's therapeutic in a sense.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. What's the most challenging aspect of flying for you?
For me, wow, I think, there's a lot of challenges in flight, for sure, in aviation. Definitely studying for, it's kind of like if you don't study, a lot can happen. So there's a lot riding on the line. It's not like your typical class. But I think for me, stalling was really a difficult thing to do, to get into that, which is funny because I know you've seen that video. So after I kind of conquered that fear to stall, because it is scary.
And for those of you that are watching this video, this is a very, very well practiced and calculated move. It's almost like parallel parking. You plan, you need to park in a small spot, and you move it. What was that like the first time that you stalled?
To be honest, I was really nervous about it. I mean, it makes sense, but I almost thought that I wasn't ready to do it. Mm-hmm. But I told myself that it just had to be done. Like, I was at that point. I'd gotten far into my training, and my flight instructor was like, you're ready. You're definitely ready. And I think having him, and I had my significant other in the back with me saying, just do it. And I finally just said, all right, I'm going to do this. And I did. And again, it was like that high, that accomplishment, that, wow, I was petrified to do this, but I've done it, Mm-hmm. And it just got easier from there. So I took that and kind of tried to apply that to all aspects of training, just going for it.
That's great. It was a proven set of steps that worked for you. I'm sure your professional sitting next to you was like, okay, here's the 17 steps that we're going to go through, which is exciting. Now, this is where we get into the good stuff. You're an accomplished on-air personality. You're doing a great job. You're up and coming and all over.
Thanks.
But what would you tell other young women who aren't looking for a primary career in aviation? What would you tell them to inspire them to take that one first introductory flight just to try it out?
I would say if you've ever been interested in flying, then why not? I'm somebody that, I would consider myself, I'd never consider myself a daredevil. I've been afraid of heights. I'm still, technically, I would say I'm still afraid of heights. I've been afraid of roller coasters, and I have always wanted to fly, but I never thought that I would do it. But the thing is, I feel when we really have a goal and you really want to do something, just pushing yourself and just going for it, just trying it. Even one flight could make a difference. You could find out that you just absolutely love it. It's your calling. And for me, it isn't my career, but it's definitely my passion. And I think regardless of what industry you're in, and regardless of what you're trying to accomplish, what your goals are, thinking outside of the box and really not being complacent and just pushing yourself, you'll find out things that you never knew you loved. So I would say definitely, go for it. Try it out.
Awesome. Kristen, I want to thank you for being on this video call and sharing with us your passion, which is flying here at Santa Monica Airport.
Well, thank you, and thank you for reaching out. It's been a pleasure, and I'm honored.
Thank you. For those of you that are watching this video, you can learn more at santamonicaAirport.com. Please subscribe above or below. You can also find a link to Kristen in the dialogue below. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you on future videos. Comment below if you have any questions. We'll reach out to you. Thanks. Have a great day.